Instruction, golf news, equipment, travel, interviews, course profiles, and more. Your weekly fix of all things golf is about to begin. It's the Flagstick Podcast with your hosts, Jeff Potter and Scott McLeod. Welcome, everybody, to the Flagstick Podcast. We're happy that you can join us again this week. Flagstick Podcast is sponsored this week by Cobra Golf, the all-new 3D printed irons featuring fully 3D printed club heads. These irons deliver an unmatched blend of feel, forgiveness, and precision shaping that goes beyond the limits of traditional forging and casting. Experience the future of iron performance and get fit for Cobra 3D printed irons today. Visit cobragolf.ca for more information. And we certainly hope that you are checking us out on our social media networks, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Please subscribe to us on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcast, and the YouTube channel. Super important. Like us and click that notification bell. Make sure you never miss a single episode. We've added, and continue to add. And I'm a little delayed on the one other thing that I'm adding because now I'm in the middle of trying to get a tournament done. So I'm kind of not lazy, but
tournament magazine. There's no laziness this time.
We're literally in the middle of putting the magazine together that has to go to the printer on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But we're away this weekend at Smuggler's Glen for the Flagstick.com shootout.
Yep.
And then I've got the newsletter to get out, and I've got this extra project that I'm trying to work on getting uploaded and ready to go. So I'm kind of in a busy space right now.
Ditto.
And for me, hockey skill development stuff is starting up again. So now I'm 2 to 3 days a week where I'm putting plans together and running off to the rink. So
yeah, I know how that goes.
Good Lord. Good Lord. We got a good show. Like a lot of them, we like to mix it up. Last week we did the mailbag. Love the mailbag. We might even get to a little bit of mailbag, residual mailbag this week.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
residual mailbag. I don't know how Brandon's going to create an artwork tile for that for the YouTube channel, but
we'll worry about the big stuff.
Exactly. On this show this week, we're kind of stuck in the middle of the golf season now for all of us up here in the northern part of the planet. We're going to chat about some of the events that have been happening in the golf world, including obviously the Flagstick Shootout that's coming up this weekend in Gananoque area, Thousand Islands area at Smuggler's Glen. And we're also going to talk about, in the back nine, we're going to talk about how you can prepare to play a golf course that's new to you. And we do it all the time. We all play golf courses that we've never played before. Some of us prepare differently than others, and we got a few little ideas on how you might be able to prepare that if you haven't thought about them already, because some of us have recently played a golf course that we've never played before, even had the opportunity to be anywhere near, but pleasantly surprised. As always, a lot of times is the case when you play a golf course you've never played before, you generally can be pleasantly surprised on one way or the other. In this way, it was a good way, but in some ways, sometimes it can be bad.
Yeah, it can just be extra challenging, especially if it's a tournament. So, but we'll get to that.
Exactly. So let's get at it here. Let's get to the front nine presented by Metcalf Golf Club. A natural setting, a pleasant challenge. Now is always is an awesome time to get your game packages for adults, juniors, and families. They're always available online. Also check out any of the 50th anniversary events. Just attended one myself. The Big Bash. Attended the Big Bash. What a great night. I'll talk a little bit about that when we get into the chitter chatter. But visit metcalfgolf.com and stay in touch with your golf savings. Okay. So, let me talk about Metcalf real quick. Went over the 50th anniversary celebrations, and what they basically did is, guests bought tickets to the evening because they had to, curb the number of people.
Control the space.
A little too much. They had a little casino kind of deal going on there. Some blackjack. Just for fun, there were some prizes and stuff, but it wasn't like we're playing for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars here. And had a nice little food station spread inside where you could kind of like not a full on like here's a steak dinner with a baked potato. It's kind of some cool little food stations with the pasta, nice little pasta mix inside of a nice glass. As like, what are you laughing at? I don't understand why you're laughing.
It's like you're just getting into the deepest details of
I
it.
know. It was cool. And then they had a video presentation, basically
That's
like as a video documentary on the history
yeah,
of the golf course
that's cool.
and different people from the club that have been there for a long time had some
Hmm.
words to say and kind of cool little video, drone footage, professionally done. Very nice
Yep.
and a very nice meal. I had the opportunity to sit for dinner or watch the video and the presentations with Reagan from Cobra Puma.
Hmm. Yep.
How fitting was that, right?
Nice. Work it in there.
We talked about 3D printed irons.
Yep.
She's saying how she's a little bit surprised at how well
They're
the 3D
great.
printed irons are. How well they've done in this region.
Yep.
This isn't Toronto. It's
No,
not a
and they're
big
not
market. It's a smaller
and they're
market, and
yeah, and they're not cheap, but yeah,
no, no.
they're very unique. Did have you hit one?
No.
I will. So I have a sample 7-iron from the first series of it,
You don't.
and I'll bring it to the shootout this
Yes, you
weekend
will.
just so that you can hit it
Hmm.
because the
And so
feel
that others can hit it.
correct. So
How
the players
cool is
can hit
that?
it
See,
because
look what we're doing for you, Cobra
the
Puma.
the
Thank you for your
feel
sponsorship.
the feel is super unique, and
Okay.
there's not been a person that I've handed it to that hasn't kind of turned around and went, wow, okay. And
Can
they
I
were
get
just
that in a
trying to,
forged blade?
that's the
I'm
thing.
just kidding.
It looks like a blade, but anyways,
Okay,
but
okay, cool. All
I'll
right.
bring it this
We'll do
weekend. So
that.
yeah.
And
Okay.
anybody playing the shootout that's listening,
Yeah, that
Scott's
wants to hit
bringing a
it.
3D printed
Sure.
iron.
Yep. There you
And if
go.
you want to give it a try on the range, hey, give it a try on the
Perfect.
range. Okay, so that was my night at Metcalf.
Cool.
Thank you again, Rob, Wyatt, Tom and Gloria Welch owners for
Yeah.
inviting me to be there. It was really nice to be a part of that. Lots of presentations and stuff too, like
I bet. So
MP, MPP,
yeah,
counselor.
yeah.
Good Lord.
Always.
I thought about giving up and making a speech, and I thought, no, you know what? Poor Gloria.
There's enough. There's
She'd
enough.
sit down, get a plaque, sit down, get a plaque, sit down,
Oh
get a plaque.
no.
It's like, then maybe we could do like a group presentation next time.
Yeah, there you go.
Think of this for the
Yeah,
100th.
yeah. And if people want to know more about the 50th for Metcalf and the history of the golf course, we've got a profile coming up in the next
Yes,
edition, the print edition of Flagstick. So
which I'm
and
working on right now.
yeah, so
Um,
you can see some of those photos, because believe
yes,
me, there's a
believe me,
lot
it
of
will
there's
be
a some.
like
Yeah,
7 or 8
yeah,
of the
yeah,
100
yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, we'll take some of those and maybe
I
when
would
they
imagine too that the video, I didn't ask Rob, but I would imagine the video that they played will be posted on the Metcalf
their
Golf
YouTube,
website
yeah,
at
yeah.
some point or another. I would think.
Yeah,
I
so
wouldn't.
maybe what we'll do is if they push that up to their YouTube, I mean, we'll add when we push the story eventually to digital on the website, we'll
Yeah,
probably enhance it with a few more photos, and if that video link is available, we'll put that in there as well.
yeah,
So
because we can do a little photo gallery thing when
yeah,
we
for
up.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy. All right.
Okay, so that's that. Now, as far as ready for the shootout goes,
Hmm.
ready for the shootout. Draw is done.
Yep.
Now, the podcast is, we're teeing off,
Yes.
this weekend. So this podcast is long since recorded by the time we get around to that. But that said, draw is done. Small field.
Mhm.
We didn't quite get to the number that we wanted to get to, but there's a lot of we kind of looked at this the other day. We talked about it. There's no conflicts with other than one event that sort of overlaps ours. There's no real big conflicts with this, but there's a lot of stuff going on in and
Yes.
around the month of
Yes.
July and
Oh
around
yeah.
the tournament. So the Tunis
Yeah.
just happened. The intersectionals just happened.
Yeah. We'll get to that
The
here in a
the
second. There's a
Quebec
lot.
Amateur is coming up. The Ontario Amateur is just
Quebec
finishing when
Quebec
we
June
start.
Quebec juniors are going on
Yeah,
right
there's a
now. So
lot going on in July. So if we may have to consider moving the date next year to
mhm.
kind of help get the field bigger. It's still
Yeah.
a small field to begin with, but
Right.
we'd
Yeah.
like more than what we have. But at the same time, we got a good quality group of
Yep.
players. I've looked at the list. It's a good division of the three flights. Bigger field, four flights, smaller field, we have three. It's still going to be a great event, a great weekend. Weather looks like it's going to be good for us. Really excited about it. I mean, I always am excited about going down there and
Hmm.
and being a part of the Flagstick.com shootout. But yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready to
Yeah, and,
go. I got to figure out how I'm getting everything down there, but that's
that's
another
another
story.
story.
Between me going down on Friday, my son Brandon is going to probably drive himself down on Friday,
Yep.
and my brother Sean, who's playing in it this year, driving himself down on Friday. I think I got
I'm
enough
sure you got
vehicles
some
coming
space.
down on Friday to get everything down there without
Yep.
having to rent a truck.
Perfect. Yeah, and the weather looks good right now, so and
Exactly.
not too I mean warm for sure, but hopefully not too extreme. It was
Yeah,
pretty hot out there yesterday. So
there you go. Okay, so
yeah,
you.
as you said,
Not only are you golfing, rebounding from your incident,
yeah.
um, your noodle in the noodle, but you've returned to tournament golf.
I have.
You and
Yeah.
your partner trying to get it done once again, but fall
Yeah.
just short.
Fall just was just short. Definitely not sharp, that's for sure. But it was certainly fun to get back. I mean, when I got hit last month, I was just on the verge of playing in our PGA of Ottawa, uh, the Spring Open on the Flagstick.com PGA of Ottawa tour. But obviously that did not happen. But it was nice to get back to playing the. I usually play in the Pro-Pro, and I play that with Derek McDonald from Royal Ottawa, and he's nursing an injury, so rib injury. So we actually had to go to Royal Ottawa in the morning before we went to Buckingham, which was the host club, so we could figure out how he could swing without being in pain, and because his rib was hurt, but didn't really affect him that much. We both had no excuses, that for sure. And fun to go. I mean, this is a format for a tournament that's 6, 6, and 6, as far as six better ball, six Chapman alternate shot, and then six scramble. So always fun. Had a great group. Joe Warner from Stonebridge, Brad Smith from Golf Genius. So we had a good time during the day, and going to a different facility. We were terrible early, but not that it matters. 500 for the last five, and snuck our way into the top 10, and hopefully got a skin for our Eagle 2 on
I was going to
the
ask you if you got
last hole.
did you get
I
the
don't know
money or
yet.
what?
No, I think we did, but I also realized there was a couple other skins as well. We thought there was two. It looks like there was three. There was Dan McNeely and Tyler Epp. Congratulations to them, who won the main division. Looks like they made a two on the 381-yard par 4 11th. And then I knew Cam McCullough from Cataraqui made his first hole in one on the third hole. We were on the
Nice.
second tee when we heard that happen. We heard them yelling, and it was like, "There's no way that's not a hole in one." You could just tell from the yell, and it's like, okay, well, there's a skin. So a
Beauty.
little smaller field, just because it was a busy time of year, as we mentioned, for everyone else. There's a lot of stuff going on, and a little bit extra travel as well, out to
Yeah.
Buckingham, and we're going to take that into account here a little bit. We're going to talk about the going and playing, of course, because this was one that was unseen for many people that were in the field, to go out and play, and that requires some different preparation if you're not going to go there and play a practice round. But it came on the heels of a lot of other things. As you mentioned, the Ontario Women's Amateur, Mid-Amateur going on at Equinel. OVGA Intersectionals were finishing up at Ottawa Hunt on Sunday, which they were also having the practice round for the Alexander of Tunis, which was following, and Antoine Jasmine ended up winning that, following up his Kent victory. Just today, as we're recording this,
Oh, she got the back to back.
yes, he got the back to back after he
So,
shot.
so
He's headed for, he's got possibility for the Triple Crown. So
wow.
shot 60 in the final round at the Kent. Obviously didn't go that low at the Hunt Club, but yes, he's got two out of the three legs done. So that's pretty good for him. And Antoine was playing at Oregon and now he's transferring to Pepperdine. So quite the player. Play Junior Golf Tour, who we're obviously a partner with. They're returning just today. They start their 2-day event at the Belleville Masters at Black Bear and Timber Ridge, and then the aforementioned PGA Pro-Pro, and as you said, the men's amateur for Ontario is going on. Quebec Junior, like it's endless
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is
So
this is sort of the silly season. We've talked about
very
this. We
much.
used to talk about this all the time,
Yes.
with this being a really busy time of the year. I had the opportunity to go down and to Upper Canada
Yes, that's right. You went to the Upper Canada
and
event. Yeah.
had a chance to watch a bunch of the groups tee off and play at the
Yeah.
Play Junior Golf Tour event down there. Talked
Hmm.
to Chris Veldkamp a little bit.
Yep.
Got some pictures. Kind of cool. Nice to see
Yeah,
the
it's fun.
really young kids going out and
Yes.
playing at the very end there, and their dads are out there with the caddy bibs on, and
Yep.
it's kind of a
The
and
daddy
they're
caddies.
carrying the little tiny junior bags there, and
Yeah.
that was pretty cool to see too. So, but
Yeah.
that's what that tour is. It's not just about with the Play Junior Golf Tour. It's not just about the U19s and the U17s
No.
and U14s. It's the
No.
depth of what Chris is doing there and
Yep.
getting those kids at really young age going out and playing and experiencing tournament golf, because then that takes away that fear and that
Hmm.
uncertainty that they have
Yep.
when they're 10, 11,
Yeah.
12, 13,
Agreed.
14,
Yep.
because now they're used to it. They know what to expect because they're the last to tee off. So they've seen all the big kids go out. They've,
Right.
seen the setup. They've seen what's required when you register and you're
Yep.
practicing your chipping and putting. And they got it all figured out. Then,
Yeah.
when they start playing the big tournament,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, it doesn't
they're
become
comfortable.
scary. I mean, it's yeah, you're right. Comfortable is exactly the right word. I mean, it's kind of that unknown when people go into tournaments, and we're having that, even going into the shootout. There's some
Yeah.
new players in that are
Asking
messaging,
questions, always asking
ask,
questions.
asking
And we
questions.
totally encourage that.
Love it. Yeah.
And we love to see the new players playing,
Yeah.
because that's totally fine. You
Yeah.
got to start somewhere.
Yep.
And I think starting with one of our events is a great way to start if
Yep.
you're getting into that, because we're there to help you. We have rules officials on the golf course, so
Hmm.
it's not leaving you out there on your own.
No.
And we're happy to answer all
Yep.
the questions you have about it. We've pretty much got all the answers when it comes to
Yeah. We
tournament
try.
golf. So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
And
it's
and
great.
the neat part too is it's not just not high handicappers. It's people that have played the game, probably took up the game during COVID. They're good players, like sub 5 handicaps, and like really good, and they just have not had the experience of tournament golf. So as you said, if those kids go and they have that experience, then they're not afraid of it. Then they go and it doesn't have, I mean, it still has a big meaning to it, but it's not
Yeah,
scary. So they
yeah.
feel a lot more comfortable when they come out and do it. And the more the kids do it, the other side of it that's really neat, just to go, on with this a little bit, is that this is a really big opportunity for a lot of the kids to meet each other as well. So there's a
Mhm.
social element to it, especially on the girls side of it, where there's not as many participants. They bond and create lifelong membership friendships, because they start, and it happens on the boys side as well, but they start to meet other players from different areas, people with common interests. And now the kids are very connected these days on social media and so forth, but this is where they find all their golf buddies and all their friends. And it's neat when you go to the tournament, because I dropped into the Ontario Women's Am on Sunday, and the number of players that get to know each other, and they're college players or junior, and they form this bond in this community, and they play practice rounds together, and they get to know each other, and it keeps them in the game as well, which is
Yeah,
really important on the girl side of it, for sure.
yeah. It's interesting too when we talk about people getting into it. Like we just sent out the sorry, I sent out the draw
Yep.
for the shootout, and then I usually send out sort of a cheat sheet of
Hmm.
what to expect. So, this is
Right.
what we do. This is what we have for rules officials. This is what you should be doing at registration to come and see me before you go to tee. This is where the pin sheets are going to be. This is where the scorecards are going to be. And one of the things that I don't. I try to remember to do is remind people about, because the big question always is, what are the divisions of the flights and what
Right.
tees am I playing from? Because I want
Hmm.
to play a practice round, or
Yes.
I want to look at the golf course online, or I
Hmm.
want to look at the scorecard and see where am I put, how long are the holes. Well,
Yep.
for our events, the big difference is that, yeah, you can look at the scorecard and you can get a general idea. We use our own tees. So for the
Hmm.
shootout, we use dark blue, light blue, white. And it's, A, B, C plays those tees and so on.
Yep.
But um, we don't set the course up necessarily according to the scorecard. So
No.
it's possible on some holes, everybody could be playing the same spot. It's
Correct.
possible that a par five that plays like 18,
Hmm.
generally we don't play it
600
all the
from
way
the
back.
back. Yeah.
We
Yep.
usually play everybody plays forward. So you're not playing the black tees or the gold tee.
Right.
It's the black.
Yes.
Black is the back ones
Black
there,
is
I
back
think.
tees. Yeah.
Yeah, there's goes black, white, blue.
Correct.
Um, so we don't play, our white tees aren't their white tees. Our
Hmm.
white tees are closer to their blue tees, but in some cases, our white tees could be their blue tees or their
Hmm.
white tees. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of, so can't take that into account too much. We look at weather, we look at wind, we look at pace of play. We look
Hmm.
at all kinds of things.
Yes.
We look at
Very much.
playability of a hole. Sometimes we
Yeah.
want to make a par five reachable for the majority of the field,
Hmm.
to kind of add some drama.
Hmm.
And sometimes we want to make it so that that par five might not be reachable. That par four might be
Yeah.
drivable or not drivable. So, and we have this year we have a hole in one car on hole number 8 out there.
Nice.
So that one, everybody's got to play the same
Which
tee.
which we had a hole in one last year, and we've had two hole in ones on number 8 during the history of this tournament. So yeah,
Interesting.
somebody could
Dan
win a car.
Chevrolet's putting up the
Nice.
hole in one car this
Love it.
year.
Okay.
So we're very
Love it.
excited about that. So in that case, everybody's got to play the same tees in the entire field
Right.
because
Right.
there's a specific yardage that hole in one prizes have to be at. And
Yeah.
so there you go.
Nice. Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I've been out of the course a fair bit, and they had yeah, it's primed and ready to go. So looking forward to having the players there, and especially the players that have never been there before.
Yeah,
That's kind of neat for them to go there and play a course for the first time. So
exactly. Exactly. So, all right.
do you want to get
Well,
out and
yeah, I
we'll
think we better. I mean, I know we got
sure.
some time here, but we might as well. I don't like splitting it up sort of
Yeah. All good.
mid-topic here anyway. So
Yeah.
let's take a break. And when we come back, we're gonna dive into this little topic about call it the new course checklist, or
Yeah.
new course, no problem kind of thing. We'll give you some ideas on how you can kind of prepare yourself to play a golf course that you've never played before. And I'll give you the ultimate tip for playing a golf course you've never played before. There's no thought process involved in it at all. It's the best tip that you'll ever get. So you might want to stick around and listen to that. Yeah, don't go anywhere. You are listening to and watching the Flagstick Podcast with Jeff Botter and Scott McLeod. We'll be right back.
The future isn't forged, it's printed. We've combined 3D printing and state-of-the-art engineering to revolutionize how golf clubs are made. Our internal lattice saves an incredible amount of weight and moves it where it matters most. Irons with unmatched feel, forgiveness, and precision, all engineered into a compact player's shape. Performance only possible with 3D printing. Only possible with Cobra Golf.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Flagstick Podcast with Jeff Bonner and Scott McLeod. As promised, here on the back nine, we're going to talk about the things that you can do preparing to play a new golf course that you've never played before, that you're unfamiliar with. So we want to get to that right now here on the back nine, presented by Falcon Ridge Golf Club. With 27 holes of fun and challenging golf at great rates, Falcon Ridge is a golfing experience that you do not want to miss. Don't forget that Falcon Ridge has built the first TrackMan Range facility in Eastern Ontario. TrackMan Range is all about exciting, easy-to-use features that provide the ultimate range experience for every golfer at every level. That's practice, games, and virtual golf. To book tee times or to book one of the 10 TrackMan range bays, visit falconridgegolf.ca. All right. So here's your scenario. Here's your scenario.
Which many people face.
You're golfing. You're golfing your home club. Maybe you golf in the same golf course day in and day out, week after week, and then all of a sudden you get the call. Hey, bud. Bunch of us are thinking of going to play the country club at whatever. You in? Like, hell yeah, I'm in. Looking forward to playing that golf course. Click on the phone or text it back, and you get off that text message, and you're like, oh crap, I've never played there before. I know nothing about that golf course. How's my game going to stack up on a golf course like that, or at that golf course? What do I need to work on? What do I need to do? Like, I don't want to embarrass myself here. We're all in the same boat, but what can I do? So this is what this is about. We all run into this,
Yeah, and especially tournament play as well.
Yeah,
I mean, this is where this is where it really comes in, is that a lot of people, and I hear this all the time, obviously students and so forth, they're going to play a golf course, especially when you're talking about, provincial events and things like that. You're usually not playing a golf course in your area. So a lot of times it is a golf course that you've never seen before. Maybe you're only getting, maybe you're getting a chance to play a practice round, but sometimes you're not, which we'll talk about a little bit in this situation. And as you said, the scenario that you're talking about, obviously you're not playing a practice round for a casual round, so you're going.
Especially if it's a really good golf course that you're $150 to play it or something.
Yeah, and we'll hear golfers that, maybe I'm gonna go play. I finally got invited to play that private course, but I want to play well.
Yeah.
How do I get ready for that? And that looks a lot different nowadays versus what it used to. And we'll get to that in a second here. Because previous to this, it was like, hey, bud, what hole should I look out for? And that was pretty much it, right? There really wasn't a lot. Maybe a tournament setting, you'd have an opportunity to, maybe there's a yardage book available or leftover from a tournament or stuff.
Well,
like that.
And that would have been the big one to try to get your hands on if you're going to a golf course. Get the yardage book or I mean, even the scorecard. But as we know, yardages don't tell the story.
They do not. And
it's like, we're playing a 310-yard par 4. Oh man, I dropped the bucket. I just hit an iron off the tee and wedge it on, or drive the green. You get there and it's like, that's not easy.
And here's a great practical example before we get to this. Playing the Pro-Pro at Buckingham on recently, the first hole is a 335-yard par 4. Wow,
piece of cake.
That sounds great.
Do it.
Does not tell you that the fairway is crowned, so that if you don't hit it in the dead middle, it bounces off. So 2 out of the 4 players in my group hit it out of bounds. Myself, my ball bounced under a tree where I had to play from. Thank God I made par from there. But they also, you don't know that the green is pitched up on a 50-foot high hill, and there's trees that sort of pinch in front of where the the green is. So it goes from just being yardage that you see on a scorecard to something more than that. And if you want to prepare and you want to sort of sort this out, you've got to do some prep, and you've got to, and if you want to score well, in some cases people just send it. I mean, I know that's your philosophy in a lot of cases. Just send it.
Well, what did you? I said, look, I got the ultimate. I know
what it is. Let's hear it.
Show up, put the tee in the ground, figure it out. That is my general philosophy on playing a new golf course, tournament, casual or otherwise. And I think that stems a little bit from all of the road trips that we've done in the past, where the earlier ones, we had the old school preparation. Where, maybe there was a website where you could look at a scorecard, or they had a photo gallery or something like that. But more often than not, you're basically just showing up, figuring it out, and going. Now, that said, Nowadays, in this digital age that we live in,
Yeah.
the very first thing that anybody can do is Google that crap.
Yeah. Exactly. I
Because you
mean,
can Google Earth a golf course nowadays, and you
yes,
can
exactly.
map out every little detail of where you're
Yeah.
going to hit it and make notes. You
Hmm.
can prepare your own sort of little, you know, ad hoc yardage book
Yeah.
kind of deals. I've seen it done many, many, many
Yeah.
times, and
And I
it's
think that
probably the
yeah, go ahead.
easiest thing to do.
It would be, and I mean, I'm still surprised the number of people that don't, take advantage of like Google Earth to do that. On Google Earth, you can measure, you can provide
Yeah,
measurements, you can measure aspects of where the dog legs are going to be, how wide fairways are, identify where the hazards are. Yes, there are advantages with other apps and so forth, but I mean, if you want to reduce the anxiety for playing, that would be the first place I would start.
hmm
There are other websites that have also built on top of that. There's one called Pro Golf Visualizer that, again, offers this sort of same thing, does 3D, 2D as far as the maps. It works off of Google Earth, but you're able to sort of apply, your tee shots, your lengths. You can, how far you hit your clubs. You can sort of apply that to it. And, as we know, now with GPS advantage, and as we get into
yeah,
different things, as we said, we used to try to find a yardage book or a stroke saver or whatever. Well, a lot of courses don't print those anymore.
no,
Some of them do make them available, but some of them, it's and we obviously did yardage books for many years for many golf courses,
hmm
but the detail of them may not be exactly what you need. It might be an illustration of the hole, but it might not fully give you as many yardages as you'd hope for. So those yardage books, not they'll give you a general idea, but maybe not as precise as you need. But we know as it is now, there are, GPS apps, the Grint and Golf Canada, Arcos. There might be a PDF yardage book online where you can start to see it's like, okay, where's the big hazards? Where's the runouts on the
yeah,
dog legs where I don't want to go through, just to save you time and anxiety during the round, because during the round you're busy doing lots of other things, and you're not necessarily getting out your laser and hitting every single target. And sometimes when you get there live, you don't really, it's not the same depth. So when you see it and you at least got some information before you go, it's information that you don't have to figure out in advance.
yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. I mean, there's other digital avenues like you can use. However, I remember when we played Tobacco Road,
Yeah.
and we played that golf course bang off the yardage book. We
Yeah.
didn't have rangefinders. We had a yardage book, and we played
Hmm.
the yardages to sprinkler heads, to spots, to like you had to. That golf course, you had to. So there's a perfect
Yeah.
example of a golf course. If first time ever playing a golf course like that,
Hmm.
in that era,
Yeah.
it was like right off the yardage book and would have
Right.
been completely lost without it.
Hmm.
Nowadays, like you said, with the apps that they have and all of these new GPS based apps, you don't need a paper yardage book,
Yeah.
necessarily anymore because you can do it
Necessarily.
all
I
based on
still
that.
like one.
You can draw your little lines and figure
Yeah.
things out. And
Yes. Yeah.
now, if you've got boatloads of money
Hmm.
and you like to play different golf courses all the time, particularly high-end golf courses, well, you could just get yourself a TrackMan. And
Yeah. I mean,
most of those really high-end golf courses, you probably find them on TrackMan. You could just play your practice round to your heart's content leading up to
well,
it.
we'll get and we'll get to that here stage. I mean, the other stage that's in between is with the websites now, because a lot of the websites would have scorecards, but a lot of them have videos as well.
Yeah.
So you see a golf course and maybe a golf course some depth or add some depth to the GPS and other stuff that you see, so
Yeah.
that you begin to realize that okay, maybe those trees are bigger than I think they are, because I can't really tell how they look on GPS or Google Earth or whatever. But I would say yes, when you're talking about simulator, and there's some practical stuff. Granted, right now there's about 500 some odd courses on TrackMan, but I have had particular tournament situations with athletes. So, for an example, Pinehurst number 2, which they have the North and South annual tournament there.
Mm-hmm.
And for the junior tournament, the players are not given access for a practice round to Pinehurst number 2, which, as you can imagine, one of the hardest, most difficult golf courses in the world. So,
Brutal.
trying to take that on blind, very, very difficult. And unfortunately, they do it for the amateur side of it, but not the junior side of it. So, I can tell you I was working with an athlete last year, and she did it again this year, even though she's played it now and has a yardage book or whatever, but still wanted to go back, play Pinehurst number 2 on the track, man, hit particular shots, see different situations, see where runouts were. Again, that's a luxury that we wouldn't expect, we wouldn't expect to have, 10, 15 years ago for an accuracy level. But it is a modern option that, you might not even think about. But yes, it can be very helpful, even if you glean a couple bits of information from it that save you one bogey or two, then it's useful.
So, aside from the digital preparation or when you're playing it, being able to take advantage of apps and GPS and yardage books and things like that, once you kind of have that set aside, you figured out how you're going to handle that. Now comes the time where you can pre-strategize,
right?
How you're going to play that day, based on all the information that you've been able to give yourself leading up to it, whatever that information is, whether it's yardage books, Google Maps, Google Earth, GPS, whatever the case may be. Now you get to sort of prepare to go to the golf course, and what's the game plan? I mean, again, we can use the Jeff Potter method of game planning. And that is roll up, roll out, roll on. It's pretty simple, right? I mean,
isn't
that easier? Honestly, isn't that the easiest way to prepare to play a golf course that you've never played before? Is just
but for some people that doesn't. And for some people, it just doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't work because the thing is that they're anxious about certain things, and
seems pretty stress-free to me.
You've got to admit that we have played golf courses where you've had that, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, Scott, what's this hole do?" So you know what? So sometimes it's not as a little information as you think that you're just going to fly blind. But again, if you're trying to score, which is different than just going to play the golf course and just enjoy the experience, then you want to kind of maximize things. So when it comes to that game plan, then that part of that game plan then is like, okay, you've got that information. The biggest place that players start, and you'll hear Brooke Henderson talking about all the time. I'm trying to find my lines. I'm trying to find my spots off the tee. So, and that's the biggest thing for most players is like, okay, what club do I have to hit off the tee? Is it going to be a driver? Go ahead, Jeff. Just say it. Driver every hole, right?
Wow. Look at again, there's the philosophy of, the driver's got the biggest face on it.
Well, yeah, and
chances are you got less chance of missing that one than you do any other one. But here's the thing too. Look at the Flagstick Shootout that we have this weekend.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Hole number 1 at Smuggler's Glen is like a 450, 400 and
465 from the
back. 465, and it's a par 5. Now, debate all you like about better players. It should be a par 4. It probably should be, but that'd be an awfully difficult par 4 to start on. Like that's you don't want to start a golf course on a 460-yard par 4. So it's a reachable par 5.
And as we said, yardage is only one factor.
It's a reachable par 5. However, beyond the bunker on the left and the hill on the right, beyond that, is a landing area for a driver that can be somewhat unfavorable if you're not on the right line.
Correct.
Really good players generally take driver and blow it right through the little gully there and end up with like a short iron into the green. However,
maybe.
A miss right or left before the ball, and even after, if you go too far right off the tee and you cross that hill on the right, you can go down the side of the hill into the hazard.
Yep.
You hook it left, you're in the trees on the other side of the cart path.
Yep.
So there's
Yep.
a strategy to that hole that can say, okay, I'm comfortable with my driver. I'm going to be able to hit it up there. Okay, I'm not too worried about it. And if I do, well, it's hazard right and left. I'll take a drop. I'll hit it on the green from there, and I'll still have a chance at making birdie.
Yeah.
So there's that philosophy, I think, mostly. But the not so good players don't hit it far enough up the fairway so that when they miss it right or left, that the drop is favorable to their game. So, for instance, you miss it right or left before the bunker or before the hill.
You're the right side. You're stuck behind a rock face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, so you got nothing. You end up bringing bogey into play on a very easy 3-shot par 5. So
Right.
do you take an iron off the tee or a hybrid and you hit it short of the bunker and short of the hill so that you can just hit an iron up into the middle of the fairway, wedge it onto the green, and you're not walking away with no worse than a bogey in most situations. But you give yourself a birdie chance. So that's a strategy. If you know the golf course and you know your game, you know maybe this isn't such a good idea. I mean, what am I doing? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy. I'm excited.
You're getting excited.
And the hands are moving.
Well, and one of the things that we find out now with apps and data and so forth, you know, be it Arcos, Tangent, whatever the case, is we start to understand our dispersions. And we see that on a TrackMan. We don't hit it dead straight. We don't play with a rifle. We play with a shotgun. So, you know, if you're going to fit that into the golf course, it's deciding, it's like, okay, if I'm hitting 5-iron, my average miss is this to this. So this is my cone that I hit it on. So again, this would be stuff. So how does that fit into the shot that I'm trying to hit? So, you know, while it's great, you know, to be a confident player, you have to understand that, you know, even a good player, if they drive at 290 or carry at 290 off the tee, the farther they get out, the wider their dispersion is. So the thing is that trying to fit a 60-yard dispersion in a 30-yard area, there's risk that obviously comes with that. So, and again, if you can kind of decide on that early, whatever strategy that is, that's your choice, but it takes out that decision when you're just standing on the tee. You know, multiple times we'll see players go back and forth as far as clubs. They're not really that decided. And if they're undecided, they won't be making confident swings. So I'd rather see them make a confident swing with the wrong club than a not so confident swing with the right club. And that's part of that strategy as far as picking that out. So on top of that, go ahead. Keep going.
Just for those that don't understand what dispersion is.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
If you hit a driver, chances are you're going to spray it more to the right or more to the left than if you hit a 5-iron.
Correct. Yes.
5-iron won't spray as much right or left as a driver will. So the further you hit the club, the more it's going to spray if it sprays.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And everybody has a dispersion. It doesn't matter if you're best player in the world. Yeah. Yeah. The best player in the world or, you know, the worst player in the world, you're going to have some sort of variance in your shots, not only front back to left to right. Yeah, everybody thinks they do until they actually see the data and stuff like that. So, but that also applies then when you're looking at your strategy as far as approaches into the green. So again, we're using, you know, you're making a game plan of how you're going to fit your shots into the greens based on, you know, if you're all of a sudden facing a 200-yard par 3, well, guess what? You're going to be left and right a lot more than you are if it's a 100-yard par 3. So where am I going to aim? Am I aiming at that flag? Right. Am I aiming away from that flag? As you see, folks, Jeff and I have a very different philosophy as far as how we're playing these golf
for the sticks.
So again, that becomes part of it as far as identifying where the very difficult hazards are, right? You know, and we can call that kind of dead zones. It's like, you know, if all of a sudden we see the pin is over on the far right and, you know, there's a massive lake that's over there, and, you know,
aim it over the lake and draw it back.
Exactly, Jeff.
Short side yourself, hit a flop shot. This is not a hard game, people. I don't understand what we're talking about here. This strategy is so simple.
Yeah. So again, it's trying to maybe be a little bit more conservative on a golf course that you don't know, just because you don't know what the undulations are on the green as much. You don't know where the the bounces are. You don't know the depth of the green, and if a green is deeper in the middle part of the green, it could be the left side or the right side that's deeper, well, then you've got a longer landing area. So that can be helpful from a stroke standpoint, where it's not dependent on your golf swing, it's dependent on your choices of how you're playing the golf course.
Good thing one of us is practical, eh?
Yeah, but that's good. There's the two different approaches, right?
I think part of that, I think that's why I think traditionally we're not very good scramble partners.
There you go.
We've done 2-ball scrambles before, and it has not gone well.
Well, yeah, but yes and no. It's because I'll be choosing the conservative play.
No. I got a gap.
No, I got a gap. Yeah, yeah.
Not what you want your partner to say to you when you're playing alternate shot.
No, that's
don't worry about it. I got a gap. Next thing you know, you have to pitch it out from behind a tree because there's no gap anymore.
And you're right, though, but that game plan changes depending on the format. So go back to this pro that I just played. It's very different philosophies when you're playing better ball, you're playing your own ball, to now I've got to play alternate shot and what situation I'm about to my partner in, versus scramble, where you're obviously going for more because you have 2 chances on every single shot. So it's kind of the ultimate in changing strategies and trying to decide how aggressive or how conservative that you want to be. So that would be the big things regarding those.
So let's talk about pre-round warm-up.
Yes. Yeah, and again, Jeff's philosophy on pre-round warm-up.
Oh boy.
How many balls do you usually hit before you tee off, Jeff?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I don't hit a lot.
Part of my reason for that is I probably should have more of a routine, like a practice routine to prepare to, loosening up and stuff like that. And
sure.
Generally, I don't. Generally, I'm kind of a go to the tee and hit. Usually hit chips and putts. Putts specifically, I tend to hit with putts. I tend to hit basically a lot of long ones.
Right.
And I like that. I'm more into the lagging than I am the 4-footers. I'm going to miss 4-footers and 3-footers. I mean, I had the Metcalf 50th anniversary thing there the other night. They had a little 1 to 8 foot putting challenge thing. I missed the 2-footer.
Oh boy.
Go figure, right? Yeah, nothing embarrassing about that when there's a bunch of people watching. The publisher of a freaking golf magazine gets up and misses it.
Misses a 2-footer.
Couldn't even use the excuse that it was a right-handed putter because Jack gave me a left-handed putter to use.
Oh no.
It wasn't my putter. That's the excuse.
Oh, sure.
It wasn't my putter.
Sure.
But yeah, for me, I'm kind of like, I don't really hit a lot of balls, partly because if I go to the range, I start hitting it bad. I don't want to know that until I'm on the golf course, because I don't want to start stressing myself out about how I'm hitting it on the driving range. So what I'll generally hit, I'll hit a lot of wedges and short irons because I know I'm going to hit those good, and I don't even bother getting the driver or the fairway wood and the long irons out and stuff like that. And putts, I hit lag putts because chances are I'm probably going to have more 30 and 40 footers than I am going to have 5 and 6 footers.
And I like that lag putt portion of it. I mean, for most
people, you agree with me on something.
I do agree with you on that, because the thing is when you're going, I mean, you're warming up. You're not trying to fix your golf swing. You should be trying to fix your golf swing before you're trying to play a tournament round anyways. But the biggest thing is getting used to the speed more than anything. And if you can spend some time rolling those longer putts and dialing in the distance control, you're going to leave yourself shorter second putts. So you're bound to have those. That's really the case. But it also helps inform what's going to happen on your shorter putts and how you can marry up the line and the speed to, again, leave yourself better opportunities. I mean, think about that. The best players in the world are a 50% make rate from 8 feet. So the reality is that you're going to miss most of your putts. But if you can dial in the speed, you can usually keep yourself from having a lot of three putts. So, and especially when we get to tournament play, usually the superintendents have a little bit of pride when these tournaments are happening, and they try to, cut and roll them and make them a little faster than normal. So as a result of it, you really got to dial in that speed. So I'd spend a lot of time doing that. Again, as far as what you're doing from prep early on, maybe have a look at chipping around the green, get used to kind of what conditions they are. I can tell you, I played at a tournament not long ago where I knew there'd be a lot of dry, patchy areas around the greens, and I'm literally on a hard pan hitting chips because I knew at some point during the day that was probably going to happen, and I got to make sure that I'm comfortable with that. Getting used to what the sand is like, getting used to what the grass is like, if it's maybe Bermuda or whatever, and then while you're there prepping, identifying, especially if you're here in the northern hemisphere, southwest is going to be the prominent wind always in the northern hemisphere. So look where that is relative to the golf course. And if that's different that day, try and figure out how that's going to affect your plan that you had previously, because all those yardages you can start throwing out the window if all of a sudden the wind has changed a lot from what it is. So you're going to have to start adjusting your targets. And if you can be familiar with that before you tee off, then you can eliminate some decisions that you're going to have to make on the golf course.
So I guess the last thing that sort of fits into the topic we're talking about here is, now that you've kind of, you've done your pre-planning, your scouting, your GPSing, you've figured out what your strategy is going to be more or less. And you've kind of got your pre-round. Now you're in the middle of the round. Now you're out there, you're on the tee. The things that you can do to execute and stay mentally prepared as you're hitting each shot. There's little things that you can now for me, and I know this is sort of one of them in there, but for me, I'm trying when I'm playing any round of golf on any golf course anytime, and this is probably the most, call it the most serious that I get when I play. I don't like hitting bad shots. My son Brandon will say, I can say all I want that I don't get. My give a crap meter is at, whatever. He knows that I care. When I hit bad shots, when I'm not playing well, he knows, he can see it, he can tell, and he's right. I do care. I do give a crap. My stress level doesn't escalate because as much as I care, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day if I shoot 85 or I shoot 75. I love to shoot 75. I hate shooting in the 80s. But what I try to do when I play is I always try to eliminate double bogey.
Yes.
Whenever I can. That. Now, if I'm playing super casual, fooling around stuff, yes, I have that strategy of, I try everything. When you and I are on our trips and stuff like that, aggressive. I'm always trying stuff.
Yeah,
if I'm
playing it for one time, we're going at it.
If I'm trying to be somewhat serious about how I'm playing, like, just a little bit, I'm just trying to take double bogey at a play. So I'm basically saying the worst I want to do on any hole is make a bogey, because I can make that shot up.
Correct. You can
if I make a double, now I have to have two extraordinary holes to make up that double. That becomes a lot harder for the average player to do. Now, really good players can string together 3 or 4 birdies in a row. Average players or high handicap or high index players, we don't make a lot of birdies. So if you make 2 or 3 birdies in a round maximum, you can't afford a double bogey. So that's sort of my brain telling me when I'm in, okay, am I going to hit driver here? Well, there's water here and water here. Now, if I hit it left or right, I'm in the water. Now double bogey's in play. Iron. And then I'll take my chances with the approach shot having to hit a 3-wood or a hybrid into a green, because now I know if I am in the middle of the fairway, the worst I'm probably going to do from the middle of the fairway with whatever club I'm hitting is miss the green. Now I have a chance to get up and down for par, and the worst I'm going to do is get up and down and 2-putt for a bogey. And problem solved. I made a bogey. Now I can move on and take my birdie someplace else.
If you made one mistake, don't make another. And the reality of it is, if you look at the statistics, even the best players don't make that many more birdies than players that are just under them. They make less bogeys and double bogeys. And they keep, the first thing I look at when I'm looking at, a player that I coach, first thing I look at is looking for double bogeys on the scorecard, finding out why they happened. And what can you do to kind of mitigate that? So, here's the thing. When you're playing a golf course you haven't played before, you're going to get caught by some hidden slope, unexpected hazard, some sort of thing. But how do you mitigate that? How do you get, if I'm behind a tree, am I trying to hit this wild shot around, or am I, pitching? Maybe there's an opportunity to hit it out to 60 feet from the hole. Okay, that's fine. I'll hit that, and who knows, maybe it goes in. But it's giving yourself that opportunity rather than handcuffing yourself kind of right away. So yes, it feels a little bit conservative, but in the end, as even tour pros know, it can come down to one stroke where it's missing the cut or making the cut. And if that's a case of taking their medicine and taking a bogey over a double, that's the difference between a paycheck and not having a paycheck. So, and the in part of that for the execution, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it or whatever, but you got to trust yourself in what you do and your philosophy and how you're going about doing things. I mean, obviously, we've spent a lot of time doing a lot of prep before going or going to play the golf course or whatever, but you've got to trust your execution and not doubt yourself. You've got to. In some cases, it might be a false confidence, but you got to be confident in some cases and see what's in front of you and make a decision of like, okay, I'll make my swing. And it could be a case of like, hey, today I'm playing a slinger. I'm cutting it today. You got to be really willing to kind of lean into that and see how that matches to this unfamiliar surroundings that you have. So
there you go.
All right.
So great pieces of advice there. You can pick what you want out of all of that. You can pick none of it. You can go with the easiest method, which is
no method.
Just show up and see what you get. But I suggest if you're playing a tournament, you might want to take it a little bit more seriously. And if you're playing a little casual, not really care, just buddies having a couple of pops and enjoying some time together, then just show up. But anyway, that's my thought. All right, good show. Like it. Thank you. Thanks to our sponsors, Metcalf Golf Club, Falcon Ridge Golf Club, and our presenting sponsor this week, Cobra Golf, and the all-new 3D printed irons featuring fully 3D printed club heads. These irons deliver the unmatched blend of feel and forgiveness and precision, shaping the push beyond the limits of traditional forging and casting. Experience the future of iron performance and get fit for Cobra's 3D printed irons today. Visit cobragolf.ca for more info. Well, we do hope that you have been enjoying and hearing and watching. Be sure to follow us across all social media networks, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Subscribe on Spotify, on both Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And don't forget the YouTube channel. Like us, click the notification bell. Really appreciate it. Make sure you never miss a single episode or anything else that goes up there. Get over to flagstick.com for more amazing golf content delivered every single day. And be sure to subscribe to the Flagstick Digest newsletters delivered to your inbox most weeks, 3 times a week. And it's free. So I don't know why you wouldn't subscribe to it. It's free and it's not junk mail that you're getting or ad mail or anything like that. And don't forget, next week we will be distributing, or we will be sending a magazine to the printer. And the following week we will be distributing yet another edition of Flagstick Golf Magazine in print. Super excited once again about that. For now, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. Until next week, I'm Jeff Potter.
I'm Scott McLeod.
Always remember, go for the